what do you know? It is Tuesday once again. And this is Torn Tuesday. The OneRing.net, abbreviated to Torn, is your weekly dose of all things Lord of the Rings. My name's Justin, and I am playing the role of
Justin, I don't hear your
Radagast
video.
for you today.
I mean, I don't
And
hear your audio, Justin.
tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And I'm also joined by your host with the most, Mr. Clifford Broadway. Cliff Broadway says he cannot hear me. I don't know
Yeah, I can
why
hear
that
you.
would.
All right.
Okay. Hello, Clifford.
Well, hello there, Justin. How are you doing? How do you like my hat?
We're both wizards today. Isn't that wonderful?
We're getting ready for Halloween. This is our last show before Halloween.
Am I supposed to dress differently for Halloween? I've got my Gollum Smeagol.
Oh yeah, there you
Vote
go.
for Gollum. I've got my Radagast hat, but you look stunning in that wonderful gray wizard hat.
Yes, I love this hat. This is a wonderful hat. It's really cool.
Well, the chat room is live on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. Good evening, ringers from Nigel. I see the chat room is complimenting Cliff on his hat, but they're not complimenting mine. I'll have you guys know that a fan sent this hat in. They made it while they watched a few episodes, and then they mailed us. And you can always send us mail and goodies and wonderful things. If you can just send it to Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood, California, and we'll get it. And once in a while, we'll do
Oh
a
my
show there.
goodness. That's
But
true.
Cliff, we've got so much news that we need to
Yes, we
get to
do.
this week. We didn't cover any of the news last week because we had a wonderful 90-minute conversation about the Brandywine Festival, and that was just so charming. You were right. The FOMO is real on the Brandywine
Yes,
Fest.
very much so.
Thank you, Bree, for complimenting my hat. I do appreciate that. Well, Cliff, should we just jump into it? Do you want to start with good news or do you want to start with bad news? Because it runs the gamut today.
Oh my
We've got
gosh. I think we should start with bad news, but also I think that I need to reset my Bluetooth settings because I'm trying to get your voice to come through these AirPods and it's not working.
all right.
So hold on, give me one quick second.
Well, I'll keep talking while
Yeah.
tries to fiddle with this. That's why we enjoy doing live shows because
Because you never know what's going to happen.
you never know. Uh,
Exactly.
Thank you, Last One. Last One in the chat room is one of our Discord admins, long time volunteer with the website. The One Ring is all volunteer. Every time you see us at a convention, every time you see us online, every news article you read, no one's getting paid. We are donating our time and our energy and our creative goodwill to make a happy little home for all you fans. The same cannot be said with some of the big corporations involved with Lord of the Rings. And let's start with Cliff. You called it. Let's start with the bad news. All right, we're gonna start with the bad news. Lord of the Rings: Rise to War, a mobile game, is officially dead. That's right. Lord of the Rings Rise to War posted this on their website. The official sunset announcement to Rise to War. Our friend Jason Charles Miller, friend of the show, is a voice of an orc in this game. But he doesn't lose out on any money because he already got paid for his work. They say to the tacticians of the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, after years of epic battles and forged alliances, we announce with heavy hearts that the Lord of the Rings Rise to War will close operations on December 31st. As of last week, you cannot make any new purchases in the game. The game remains online and fully playable until December 31st. So if you guys want to give a little attempt to play Rise to War, you have until the end of the year. The Rise to War team, and it's all in different languages. So Rise to War is the first thing. But in bigger news, Cliff, are you there? Did you fix your audio? I don't know if he's here. Is he in the participant? No, he exited. All right. Uh man, I kind of want to I want to talk with Cliff about all the news. Um well, before we get to the big news, um let's balance the bad news with the good news. Okay? Rise to War is done. Let's have some good news though. You guys ready for some good news? Hobbiton Tours in New Zealand, who own the Mata Mata, um, oop, uh, the Hobbit holes, the Shire, um, recently surprised some people getting married at Hobbiton, which is a thing you can do. And Elijah Wood is currently in New Zealand, and there he is. He's crashing a wedding. He's not crashing a party. He's first off, I want to get married at Hobbiton, and I want enough friends that would fly to New Zealand to watch me get married. And then I want friends that are so cool that they would dress as hobbits and elves at my wedding. I mean, look at that. Everybody's got elf ears. That's just so charming. So there's Elijah Wood crashing someone's wedding at Hobbiton in Matamata, New Zealand. This is so cool. This is so cool. I don't necessarily want to play the audio because copyrights. So Elijah Wood, there he is, in crashing a wedding in New Zealand. That's so wonderful. So wonderful. Cliff is still rebooting. All right. Speaking of Elijah Wood, we've got more Elijah Wood news. He owns a record company, and it's called Mutant Records. You might know it from the website Made by Mutant. Well, Elijah Wood has partnered with Bear McCreary to release a 10 CD box set of the season 2 music. That's right. Elijah Wood has partnered with Bear McCreary to release 10 CD box set of the soundtrack of Rings of Power Season 2. 8 CDs featuring the orchestral recordings for each episode. There's only 8 episodes. And 2 CDs featuring the original soundtrack, which is just the 2 CD soundtrack. A 130-page journal featuring Bear McCreary's episode-by-episode musings that you might have already read on his website. Now, they are printing his blog as part of this, and it's numbered and limited to 1,000 copies worldwide. Chat room, take a guess how much this 10 CD box set for this music of season 2 of Rings of Power is.
I would guess it's $175.
175, 175. Do we have a higher? Do we have lower? Chat room. Let's see let's see your bids. Let's see your bids.
You're the next contestant on The Price is Wrong here on Torn Tuesday. You know what? My AirPods aren't working, so we're actually using a different form of audio playback, but I think that I can hear you fine. And as long as you folks can hear me fine, I'm glad to be back on the show. Little technical glitches are always funny when they happen that way.
That's right. Yeah, and that's the joys of doing it live. Let's click through, Cliff. You said 175. It is 150 plus shipping.
Okay, I was close.
You were very, very close. Again,
Indeed.
Elijah Wood's Made by Mutant. It's releasing the 10-disc complete soundtrack of season 2 of Rings of Power, including printed versions of all the things, all of
That's
the
pretty
blog
cool, though.
posts.
You know what? Since we don't have any merchandise of any kind from 2 seasons of The Rings of Power, and that means no toys, no collectibles, no vinyl figures, nothing. No, not even board games, collectible cards. The fact that they're giving Bear McCreary the highlight, indeed, you could dial this down a bit more and say the only merchandise at all is related to Rings of Power's music, only related to the music of the show. And there you have it. This is pretty cool for
There
Bear
you have it.
McCreary.
And
Very
we
cool.
all, I think, Cliff, we all agree that the best part of Rings of Power is the music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By a million years.
Um,
Absolutely.
you usually don't get that amount of budget and support to do music that well for television, and Amazon's giant budget
Just look at how
gave.
people have responded. All of the fandom, even the complainers and the haters, they have nothing hateful to say about Bear's music.
That's right.
Not a single negative comment anywhere. Not even in, ridiculous spaces where the fandom is not really a fandom. It's just rage baiting and rage clicking. But everyone loves Bear's music, and there's a reason why.
Well, there.
His contribution to the show cannot be underestimated. It's phenomenal. He is so talented. The team that he's working with, he's acknowledging his team, and they are so talented. And what they're doing deserves a beautiful soundtrack collection like this. They really deserve it. It's well done. Very well done. So, in tradition of New Zealand, I'll say, good on you, mate. Good on you.
And anyone at Amazon or Mutant, if you're watching today, Cliff would be happy to listen to and give a proper review with a sample copy of this box set.
Please send me a review copy. You can send that review copy right to Scum and Villainy Cantina on Hollywood Boulevard, and I will get it.
Cliff, we have breaking news from our friend, a friend of the site, a friend of yours and mine.
We're burying the lead? No. Okay, let's go.
Our friend Doug Adams has probably been the #1 most common guest. I think we've done over 24 hours worth of shows and content with Doug Adams, the author of the music of Lord of the Rings, now in its like 11 millionth printing. They can't keep it in stock. Cliff, Doug is going viral today.
Oh my goodness. Yes, he is. He sure is.
He is. Look at this. It all starts with an innocent tweet from our friend Doug Adams, who was a collaborator with Howard Shore. Let's be honest.
Yes.
So yesterday, Doug Adams tweets, John Williams is confirmed to be scoring Spielberg's upcoming UFO film.
He has not retired yet. That is a good sign for cinema and for movie music fans everywhere. John Williams, although he really should take a moment and rest and enjoy his laurels.
He's 93 years old. He can't even he doesn't even do the concerts anymore at Hollywood Bowl.
No, he'll show up. He'll show up just to greet the audience. He doesn't stand there and do the entire conducting.
Yeah. So Doug Adams posted this tweet yesterday. I posted it on Reddit, on our movies on Reddit, and the mods deleted the thread saying it's fake news. Well, wouldn't you believe it? This morning I woke up and Culture Crave, one of the big pop culture things, says John Williams is composing the score via Doug Adams. And look at this.
Via Doug Adams music. Wow.
And 15,000 likes right there. Look at that. 15,000 likes on Culture Crave. And Cliff, that's where's it at?
This is so exciting.
And wouldn't you believe it? Wouldn't you believe it?
Oh my gosh. So many people in our chat are saying John Williams is still alive. Yes, he's very, very much alive. Bless his heart.
I love Doug Adams. He says, this is going viral, but as it's going viral, it's time to air my crazy political views. Just kidding. If you like film music, you can buy my book on the Lord of the Rings scores right here. That's the perfect way to go viral, Doug.
Yeah.
And you won't believe it. Variety in the last few minutes have just confirmed it. Here it is.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goch.
And Cliff, it gets better. Watch this. As we scroll down, down from Variety, right there in the second paragraph, according to journalist Doug Adams. Look at that. Variety even credits Doug with scoring the scoop.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So congrats to our friend Doug Adams, who hopefully will have some Lord of the Rings scoops of his own pretty soon.
Wow. That's great.
So shout out to Doug
is so
Adams
great.
for scooping of all scoops in Hollywood today. That the maestro is coming back, and that. Speaking of,
That's pretty darn cool. Well done, John Williams. I
all
want
right,
to
Cliff.
acknowledge. Yeah, before we get to the next news item,
Yeah,
I'd like to acknowledge someone in the chat here. Hello, Wheat Bix Remix. Have you noticed the approximately 30,000 Amazon workers being made redundant? All Amazon game studios are closing as a result. Have you heard anything about film or TV studios
Wheat Bix,
thusly
where you
being
been,
affected?
man? I miss you in the Discord. Wheat
Yeah,
Bix.
welcome. You know what? I just saw a major national news piece about 16,000 jobs being
Well,
cut from
you're
Amazon.
getting ahead of me, Cliff, because that's the next news thing. I was going to talk about it, and before
okay.
before you bounced. Well, let's jump into it, because this is Lord of the Rings is the
Timely.
most affected project at Amazon with the layoffs. Let's bring it up full screen.
Oh, that's
Amazon
right. We did make an
scales back
announcement they were
gaming
doing a massively
ambitions.
multiplayer new version of LOTR.
14,000 layoffs.
Yes.
And check this out. Amazon is laying off 14,000 people starting this week. And check this out. It says that they are exiting halting. They are halting their first-party AAA game development work, specifically around MMOs within Amazon Game Studios. That's right. They are halting all MMO work. And the only game that was being developed as an MMO was Lord of the Rings. It had $100 million budget.
Wow.
It had $100 million budget, and today Amazon has decided to backtrack and close the studio. And it's not just layoffs, Cliffs. Check this out. Broken Toys Lum, he is a well-respected gaming industry insider, and he posted this today. He can confirm that Amazon Game Studios in Irvine, California and San Diego are gone.
Oh, gosh. Wow. That's okay. So one less Lord of the Rings major project in the world. Completely cut.
And it's Amazon's second biggest funded Lord of the Rings thing.
Wow. Crazy pants. Well, what's different from the way that the major news outlets are reporting it, what I saw on the news less than an hour ago was that mostly it was marketing jobs and human resources jobs that were being removed from Amazon, the company. But they didn't do any reporting on this other set of job losses, the closure of the video game studios. This is news to me.
Yeah, this is big news. We did some digging. Obviously, we found this. We found this insider. Let me clean this up. So, Cliff,
wow.
Here's what I understand. So the biggest group of layoffs from Amazon are happening at the game studios. The studios are closed. They're gone. According to this insider right here, they're literally gone. Here's the thing about the Lord of the Rings game. What we have previously reported on, it had $100 million budget, which is typical for a game like
it is.
Harry Potter's.
Something that of a large IP, but they also spent a lot of money on the license, did they not? This represents a lot of wasted money.
They spent a lot of money on license. But here's the thing: what Amazon is actually doing good work in Irvine on the Lord of the Rings MMO. According to some friends who have signed crazy NDAs, right? Because Amazon is notoriously private, but they said that the Lord of the Rings game was being staffed by Lord of the Rings fans. In fact, every job interview to work at Amazon Game Studios really grilled you on your Lord of the Rings lore. It was part of the interview process was to show that you really know this stuff and you didn't just watch the movies, but you are like a fan of Tolkien and the books. So
Yes, indeed.
most of the development team on this MMO were Lord of the Rings fans.
Okay. Wow.
It felt like they were doing it right. They were giving it a big budget. They were hiring true fans of Tolkien. And as of today, those companies, those game studios no longer exist.
Wowzer. Just wow. Crazy pants. I mean, wow.
And Lord of the Rings was the biggest project at Amazon Game Studios. And it is the most affected because everyone's just gone.
Okay.
So, Cliff, well, I got some questions for you, but there's the news. What are you feeling right now as a Tolkien fan? Because we've been one of the sources of the gaming news, keeping people up to date. How are you feeling about this? I mean, were you excited for this game?
Yeah, I was, because this is going to be another, group of artists bringing another approach to, anything that's massively multiplayer online is really cool because they can take the time to make things so detailed and immersive, and therefore it enriches. It would stand to reason that the further they go, the more it will enrich your gaming experience. And now everything that they'd set up, all that pre-visualization, all the writers, all the work, not to mention what they paid just to get the license in the first place. It's all gone down the tubes now. I don't quite get it. Wheat-Bix makes the very gentle joke that you need to be smart, unquote, air quotes, like Amazon accountants. This isn't a loss. It's now a tax opportunity with a funny face emoji. Guess what? Maybe that's what it is. So, wow. This is not related to the other story that I saw about AI taking over the HR jobs and the marketing jobs. This is something else.
No, that's part
entirely.
of it. Yeah, the
Is it part of it?
14,000 layoffs are going to across the board at Amazon, but the most layoffs are going to happen at Amazon Game Studios. And to answer some questions in the chat room, no, the teams are not getting moved to another unit or another company. Layoffs are layoffs. A lot of people have just lost their jobs. A lot of Tolkien fans have lost their jobs this week. And supposedly they were doing great work on an incredible AAA $100 million budgeted. It was supposed to, they envisioned this to be like Hogwarts Legacy.
Wow, they were going all out.
Going all out. It was set in the Third Age. It wasn't even based on Rings of Power. Cliff, Amazon was making a $100 million Rings game and not making it about Rings of Power.
Okay. All right. Got it. Copy that. Leads me to think the next thing. Tell me if my instincts are wrong, Justin, but if I'm connecting the dots, would it be part of the deal then that Simon Tolkien made with Prime Studios at the beginning, that there would be no video games related to the TV series and that there would be no merchandise? I wonder if that's part of the original deal.
That was the original deal, and then a couple of years later, Amazon got the video game license to do this MMO.
Wow.
And
so thank you guys. I love this hat. Thank you.
Cliff, Princess Toy Nerd wants to know, could Rings of Power have killed all interest in Tolkien?
No. No, not at all. But it's interesting when I look at some of the Tolkien fan accounts and they're talking about, all right, I don't want to jump ahead, but we have other casting news about the hunt for Gollum. And here's what's interesting. We'll get to that in a minute. But Justin, do you know how often I see comments in the comments threads and they're saying something about the hunt for Gollum, and Andy Serkis is bringing the team, getting the band back together.
Yeah. Let's not go there yet.
No, we're not going there, but let me finish this thought. Do you know how many people say, as long as they're not doing it like Amazon did, to Rings of Power, then we should be okay. I see a lot of speculative comments from fans about the hunt for Gollum, and they usually use a negative reference point. I don't know, but that's what I see a lot of. Using Rings of Power as a negative reference point to what other adaptations are. And I'll bring this into alignment with Princess Toy Nerd's question. I don't think that Rings of Power has killed off all interest in Tolkien, but it has really, really soured interest in Rings of Power aligned material. So if this massively multiplayer online game is not at all aligned with the Second Age stories, and they did say it's all Third Age, and they're not even having it related to their TV series, then that's an indication that they were willing to spend $100 million on a Hogwarts Legacy style Lord of the Rings game, as long as it wasn't entrenched or adjacent to Rings of Power. That's interesting when you think about
the
that.
next question. The next question
You know what I
I
mean?
have for you, Cliff, industry insider. You've worked behind the camera, in front of the camera. You've produced award-winning films. Let me ask you this: if Amazon is willing to close a game studio about Lord of the Rings, what do you think is going to happen to the budget of season 3, 4, and 5 of Rings of Power? Do you think things are at risk now? Because we thought Rings of Power is pretty safe. We thought Lord of the Rings was safe. That's a safe bet. Okay.
You'd think, but now this makes the color in the sky look a little different. It does make things look a little different.
The red sun has risen.
But the money for season 3 has been spent. Not on marketing, but the production costs have been spent for season 3. So we should say, are the budgets for seasons 4 and 5 going to be affected? More likely. I wonder.
I mean,
I think that's just as likely as anything now. Now that they've cut off an entire huge, what would have been a very, very lucrative Lord of the Rings MMO, and now they've cut that right off the vine, even before the grapes could grow. They've cut it off the vine.
Didn't Amazon report record earnings? And didn't they get just a big tax break earlier this year?
Sure, they have record earnings every minute.
Don't they have enough money? They have enough money to pay for all of this.
Yeah, they have enough money to burn.
All right, final question before we move on.
They have enough money to fly influencers to Majorca, like they did in season 1.
I mean, look, season 1 cost $1 billion. But Cliff, I guess
yes, it did. I know, but come on.
I guess the next question is, before we move on, now that Amazon somehow lost faith in the AAA game space, they've closed the Lord of the Rings game studio.
Yes.
And the rumors are Amazon might be trying to buy Warner Brothers. Does this closure give you where's your mind at in context of Amazon buying Warner Brothers? If they're willing to do this to the Lord of the Rings.
Like I said last time, I do not want that to happen. No. It would be interesting if Paramount / Skydance buys Warner Brothers, but I don't think Amazon has any business buying Warner Brothers.
I mean, they bought MGM that had the Hobbit rights.
Yep, I know. Crazy pants. That is something that happened.
And as we reported last week or 2 weeks ago, they just sponsored the Amazon AI film contest.
Yes, they did. The AI filmmaking festival. Type in a prompt and call yourself a filmmaker. Not. I mean,
Hobson,
that was mentioned with extreme sarcasm, by the way.
Hobson in the chat room says,
filmmaker.
Amazon, please send that Lord of the Rings MMO to the studio that created Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I've raved about this game. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is my game of the year. I just spent all weekend playing it. I'm near the end of Act 2, and Cliff, do you know who the main voice is in this game? Andy Serkis is in the game of the year. Andy Serkis is the voice of the main antagonist in Claire Obscure. If that doesn't get you hyped
Wow.
to play that game, it
Wow.
is incredible. So I agree. I agree with that statement. Amazon, sell the assets, sell the Lord of the Rings assets to that studio, and let's get some great Lord of the Rings games in the marketplace. I'm ready. I'm ready to just
Yes.
dive in.
To have some more. I absolutely agree.
So, all right, Cliff.
I remember finding an article saying that they were attempting to sell Warner Brothers Discovery at a certain value per share, and it was passed, and the deal didn't go through.
They're trying to. They basically have said they'll cut it up any way they want. Yeah, if you want the whole pie, you can buy the whole pie. If you want to spin off the cable networks, you can spin off the cable networks. Like there is no.
Oh gosh! Wow.
Cliff, in other Amazon Game Studios, in other news, have partnered with Bored Ape Yacht Club. Remember those funny little apes, the NFT apes?
Yeah, I remember those annoying NFT apes.
Yeah, well, this weekend, they announced that they've made a Bored Ape MMO game, and Amazon is the first partner. And look at that, they got an Amazon box created. They call it Boximus. Tagged Amazon video games in it. So this is what's happening in Amazon games. They closed the Lord of the Rings studios and they partnered with Bored Ape NFTs. And yeah, that's
non-fungible tokens. Do you know what the non-fungible token thing was? I thought
was a thing.
Was just a blip on the radar, and it happened, and it's done.
I thought it was done.
How many people wasted money on that? I wonder.
So much.
Hello, Aragorn broke his toe. Greetings to you in the chat. Has Doug Adams revealed anything further with his Howard Shore teasings? And no, he has not revealed anything further.
In fact, he
Howard
did the
Shore.
opposite. He did
something else and revealed a big story about John Williams working with Spielberg. But thank you for checking in on that point.
Yeah,
we were just talking about that earlier at the beginning of the show.
So yeah, Bored Ape. They haven't really tweeted many apes. So there's a video of their Bored Ape MMO. Looks a lot of fun, doesn't it, Cliff? Bored apes just sitting there being bored. This is what Amazon Game Studios is doing instead of fully funding a Lord of the Rings game. You have to own a Bored Ape NFT or a mutant ape to get access to the game.
File that under dumb, really dumb. They're making this instead of making a Lord of the Rings game. This is so dumb.
Fun times.
So
Cliff,
dumb. Really lame.
Right,
lame. Oh my gosh.
Moving on, Cliff. The Wrap is reporting that Taylor Sheridan, who created Yellowstone and the 20 spin-off TV shows of Yellowstone.
Yes, with Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford. Yes.
With so many people.
Yeah.
He is leaving Paramount. All of the Yellowstone shows are on Paramount Plus. He is leaving Paramount, and he signed a $1 billion deal at Universal. My question to you, Cliff, is...
This is interesting. Okay.
So if Yellowstone is the biggest thing on TV right now, he is the number one TV producer in America right now. And he gets a $1 billion deal. How did McPain, with no credits to their name, also get a $1 billion deal to do Rings of Power?
I do not understand. I've never understood the deeper mysteries of the universe, and I'm going to put that under there too.
This is like the Aaron Spelling of this generation. This guy, Taylor Sheridan, is the top is the king of TV right now. I think he has a show with Billy Bob Thornton. I think he did a show with Sylvester Stallone. Everything's based on westerns and the West and the oil fields and Tulsa King and everything like that. So if the top producer in the world can only get $1 billion out of Universal, I want to know what McPain said in that pitch room to also get $1 billion.
Anonymous girl in the live chat has the answer. Because of freaking J.J. Abrams. Probably, yeah. You know what? And that is probably really close to the truth, that they have a relationship with Bad Robot. That might be it. That might really be it.
Cliff, do you think JJ is actually involved in Rings of Power and he's just doing it quietly?
J.J. Abrams?
Involved? He has not done anything in Hollywood since Rise of Skywalker in 2018.
No. No.
Do you think? I don't care what you want. Do you think?
No.
That he is secretly involved?
Gosh, no. That would have gotten out by now.
You
that
think?
Couldn't have been kept secret. Something like that would not have been able to be kept secret. People would be blabbing. The lighting crew, somebody laying down plants and herbs in the background doing landscape, and someone doing carpentry. Somebody would have blabbed to their spouse or to their girlfriend or to somebody, and then it would have gotten out on social media. So that no way.
All right. Let's get let's get to our other big story today, Cliff. As you know, we've been reporting for weeks and months now that Tauriel was in play on the latest scripts for The Hunt for Gollum.
Let's rock and roll. This is about to happen now.
Look at this. According to several internet entertainment blogs, Evangeline Lilly has teased that she will return as Tauriel in The Hunt for Gollum. I went to her page and she was at Armageddon Expo with Elijah Wood. That's why Elijah Wood crashed that wedding at the top of the show. They were both at Armageddon Expo. And in New Zealand there. And here's a comment from her.
Show that. That's the proof. There's the proof.
Let's hope it's not a wrap on New Zealand and that you and Tauriel will be back soon in a certain upcoming film. And she officially replies, working on something. We'll see.
Non-disclosure agreement prevents her from actually saying out loud that they're negotiating a contract, because they are. She wouldn't say that much if in New Zealand, no doubt, she is negotiating a contract to return as Tauriel.
I bet she's read the script. I bet you. I bet you. And you know how these things work, right? She read the script and she'll decide whether she wants to come back or not, or if they're willing to make some changes at her request.
Right. No more love triangles.
Sydney Sweeney as Galadriel. That is a whole different type of movie. But
no, this is interesting. This Tauriel stuff, Justin.
We scooped it.
We did. We scooped this. We completely scooped this. And that's why you come to Torn Tuesday, to get the early scoops.
That's right. You guys watching are in the know first. How many times do we do this, Cliff? How many times? We were the first to report that Sauron and Galadriel were going to quest together.
Yes.
On Rings of Power, right?
And they did.
Yeah. So
we were actually the first to report that the original take on the series was a young Aragorn take, until they switched gears entirely and went for second age stories instead.
For the Russo brothers to admit in public that was their pitch.
That's what the Russo brothers did. We were right. Our early rumor mongering ends up being more accurate than it should be a lot of the time. But now let's add another rumor to the monger. I just made up that word. It's not a verb anymore. It's now a noun. Let's add another rumor to the monger. And guess what? If we are in Mirkwood, if we are in this huge forest, who else is there? Talk to me, Lee Pace. I know you're busy working on Foundation.
Oh my
I know you're
God,
busy.
Lee
Talk
Pace.
to me, Lee
He's
Pace.
in the new Running Man movie that comes out in two
Oh my gosh,
weeks.
I can't wait to see this.
I
Okay,
cannot wait. How did they
rock and
not
roll.
advertise the Running
All
Man
right.
with Lee Pace?
Yeah, they haven't. They haven't mentioned him at all in
They
any of the
haven't
marketing
mentioned him
at
at
all.
all in the trailers. I don't care about that guy from Top Gun that smirks all the time. Show me
Yeah,
Lee Pace
the guy who
chasing him.
smirks. Wasn't
I'm
he in
in.
Twisters? He was in the Twister sequel, Twisters. That was him. All
Yeah.
right. So here's the scoop. I'm
Anonymous girl, you
asking.
say you'll take the Russos over McPain. The question is, the Russos had
Uh,
just come off the biggest franchise movie of all time, right? Avengers
yeah,
Endgame.
Endgame, Avengers.
How
We'll combine
did
Infinity War with that too.
how
Yes.
did McPain get $1 billion and the Russos couldn't?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I really don't know the calculus. I don't know how that happened, but
Don't you think someone at Amazon would have said, "All right, we like McPain's ideas, but we trust the Russo brothers' production and directing talent. Why
mhm,
didn't they put the DeRussos in charge and put McPain in the writers' room?"
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Uh,
excited about Orlando Bloom and Lee Pace and Evangeline Lilly all coming back to Mirkwood. I'm just so excited about that. And I don't know for sure. They've made no official announcements, but they have been talking to uh, Evangeline Lilly. That means they must be talking to Orlando.
That's
It
right.
means, logically speaking,
Well, he's
they
he's
must
already
be
said they
having.
approached him. He Orlando already said they approached him.
Okay, good. Bring it on. But
He
Lee
said
Pace,
that
we need
he
Lee
wants.
Pace in the room.
Orlando said he's requested that they use the AI and magic to make him look younger.
Right.
Right.
Well, Katy Perry asked for that too, but that didn't work out.
Ah, jeez.
So, sorry. I'm just
Um,
making stupid jokes now. I love you, Orly. I love you. You're my
so
brother.
listen,
I'm just making fun. Sorry, I don't mean to be making fun of you.
listen. Tauriel was an incredible new addition to the Hobbit movies. I think she's one of the best parts of the Hobbit trilogy. I think the studio notes that forced a love triangle did her
Mhm.
dirty, and
Mhm.
I am very
Agreed.
happy.
Agreed.
I am very happy that potentially Andy Serkis and Peter Jackson are going to allow Evangeline Lilly to have the final say on this character.
Oh,
Every
wow.
actress should have this opportunity
Yes.
to own the character. This is her character to own. And Cliff, you know how you fix the Hobbit trilogy in The Hunt for Gollum? You just have her be sarcastic to Legolas and say, "Yeah, you wish, lover boy, that was never going to happen."
Yeah, that would be sweet revenge if her character was like, I'm gonna friend zone you right away. Friend zone, back off, buddy.
In your
You might be
dreams.
you might be the prince of the woodland realm, but I'm not dealing with you right now. In the live chat, Taron Panu says that Lee Pace has been approached. Philippa Boyens said it during the press junket for Rohirrim.
Here we
For
go,
more of the
baby.
Rohirrim.
Here we go.
Give me all of
Yes,
the elves.
we are
Give me
so
Thranduil.
winning. I don't.
Please
I,
give me
at this point,
Thranduil
look, if Hunt
and
for Gollum is
Tauriel
just a greatest hits movie, I'm
and
all
Legolas.
in.
I want.
Oh,
Well, a major part of the hunt for Gollum involves the period of time when he was held captive, and Gollum, well, he learns to have a great dislike for elven rope, and he's screaming at Frodo and Sam that
yeah.
it burns.
He's like,
it
it
burns my
burns.
skin. Take it off us. Take it off us. And so now you're going to find out why. This hunt for Gollum is going to establish why Gollum hates elven rope so much. It's
Movie
it's
expert Greg
traumatic for him.
Turkington says there will be a Bombadil movie, but I don't think we can trust movie experts that give everything 5 bags of popcorn. Come on. Enough with that fake news. We're talking about real news here on Torn Tuesday, and the real news is Evangeline Lilly is signaling that she's coming back. Philippa has already confirmed that they approached Lee Pace. Orlando has already said they can de-age me with AI, and I'm in. So we're getting the band back together, Cliff. Doesn't this sound amazing?
I want to go back to Mirkwood so bad.
So bad.
I wonder if Howard Shore also is going to come back. That's another big question mark.
Well,
oh boy,
that's
I wonder.
Well, I hope Doug Adams got addicted to the social media love that he got today with the John Williams music, because maybe he's got more scoops uh in there. Um Now we just need big
Wow.
Vigo and no recast. I'm telling you, I've seen Vigo in the flesh in person. And I'm telling you, you put a wig on that man, you would not know the difference of
Yeah.
him now versus 20 years. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
he looks
Agreed.
like a rugged Numenorian. I mean,
He does. Yeah. Bless
it
him.
bless him. Great
Yeah,
genes there.
absolutely. Keep in mind, folks, people are talking about having a significant traumatic event happen to Tauriel in the hunt for Gollum, so that would motivate Legolas to leave the Woodland Realm and go to Rivendell and become a part of the Fellowship. But from what we know in the books, it was the very fact that Smeagol, Gollum, had escaped. And people in Rivendell did not know yet. Messengers had not arrived. That's why Legolas really left the Woodland Realm. He showed up by accident just to tell Elrond and the residents of Imladris that Gollum had escaped. So Legolas shows up coincidentally at the same time that Boromir shows up. Coincidentally at the same time that Frodo has been rescued at the ford of Bruinen, the river. And all of a sudden, they're all there together, and it's destiny. It's destiny that they're all there at the same time to have the Council of Elrond and have a discussion at the behest of Gandalf to talk about the fate of Middle Earth and what will be done with the One Ring of Power. So, yeah, I can understand the fan, if you're fan casting in your mind, what kind of elves and what kind of storyline could happen to the Mirkwood elves in the hunt for Gollum. You don't necessarily need to have something tragic happen to the Evangeline Lilly character. You already have specific reason for Legolas to leave because he was the messenger who came to inform Lord Elrond about what happened with Gollum. And so, that's all tied together. All the threads of the story are in there with what Tolkien wrote. So, but the fact that Tauriel is going to be back in action is super cool. But I wouldn't make a quick prediction that her character needs to have a tragic demise just to motivate Legolas to be at X, Y, or Z places on the map within the Third Age. It was the escape because they were attacked by Sauron's orcs in the woods. And that was deliberate because Sauron wanted Gollum to be free. If Gollum were set free from captivity, then Gollum would run around and find the ring for Sauron. Sauron wanted him to be let loose so that Gollum could go and find the ring. And it was part of the manipulative plan by the Dark Lord to see if Gollum could get to the ring before his own servants could. So yeah, as long as we have that straight, I wouldn't necessarily predict Tauriel needs a huge dramatic crash and burn just to get Legolas off of his derriere and get him over there to Rivendell. I mean, it was enough that Sauron's forces came that far into Thranduil's boundaries of his realm, and Gollum was loose.
Well, remember the movie set up. Well, first off, people are in Discord this weekend. One guy said Thranduil doesn't have any book feats at all, and everybody jumped on him in the Discord saying, "You obviously haven't read the books. Thranduil is so active and action oriented." But if you remember in the movies, the Hobbit movies end with Thranduil sending Legolas off to go find the Ranger in the north. So
yes,
Legolas is already off the table. So that would leave
well,
Tauriel to be the
what?
defender of the Mirkwood.
What if Orlando Bloom and Viggo Mortensen capture Gollum together? What if they change the story and it's both Legolas and Aragorn who bring Gollum back to Mirkwood to be captive in Thranduil's realm? They might change the story like that.
That's right.
That gives Orlando Bloom's character a reason to be back with reuniting with his dad. Interesting.
Well, that's some big news from Hunt for Gollum, and I'm really
It is.
excited. And listen, folks, the fact that Elijah Wood and Evangeline Lilly are in New Zealand right now, and they're having these discussions. If they go quiet for the next 8 months, we probably know it's what's up. You know, like things
Okay.
are getting strong. There was a question in the chat room that talks about. I wonder who the director of photography is going to be since Andrew Lesney is no longer with us. Well, folks, we a
I
friend
know
of the
who we would
show.
recommend.
A friend of the show.
Yes.
He's done 2 hours with us here. Greg Fraser,
Greg
uh,
Fraser, bring him in
who
and let's
did
rock and roll.
the Dune movies, and he
Yes,
did the
Dune
Batman. He
and
is
yeah,
not
the
doing
Batman.
those sequels anymore. So he is available. He is
What's he doing?
available next year,
Didn't
and
he
that's
say he was doing something though?
it's crazy. They've got a new DP for Dune. They've got a new DP for the Batman 2. And so Greg Fraser's schedule might be open. His next movie is going to be the Andy Weir movie about Martians with the Notebook guy, Ryan Gosling.
Oh, right. Okay.
The
Got it.
Ryan Gosling space movie is this thing. So that movie's going to look absolutely stunning, beautiful. Greg Fraser, please pick up your phone if Andy Serkis calls. By the way, Andy Serkis still has to film his scenes for the Batman Part 2 because he's Alfred. You can't do the Batman without Alfred. And I hope they don't recast that, even though Andy's going to be busy. So Cliff, I mean, this is just good news, huge news. I like the direction it's going. We've got some other news to cover. The life and deaths of Christopher Lee, incredible documentary. Incredible documentary. It was kickstarted a while ago. We watched it earlier this year. We've had the director John Spira on the show.
He's a wonderful guest, and this is a remarkable film about the life of Sir Christopher Lee. It's so remarkable.
It's so charming. It's just charming. That's what it is. And they have new interviews with Peter Jackson and John Landis. They have Peter Serafinovich voicing Christopher Lee, reading from his biography.
Yes.
Wonderful documentary. Well, we just got an email yesterday that says they are shutting down the e-commerce store because he is officially sold out of all copies, Blu-ray and DVD of the movie. It's done. They did their print run. They did their Kickstarter run. They doubled their order for online sales, and now he's officially sold out. I believe you can still buy to watch it online. I think he sends you a password protected Vimeo link or something like that.
That's right. Yes.
Go to our website, The Wandering Net, search for this document, search for Christopher Lee, and there'll be a link somewhere on the website to watch this film digitally. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of Christopher Lee.
I hope somebody someday produces more home video copies of this, because it needs to be in all the libraries so everybody in the library can check out a copy. It should be available for everybody. I'm a big fan of spinning disc physical media. I'm a big fan of physical media, and everybody knows why. It's because you never know when somebody's going to flip a switch and delete an entire movie or a series off of a streaming platform, and then it's gone, totally gone, unless you work for the studio archives.
All right, you're getting off topic. But Christopher Lee.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Part of the documentary is Christopher Lee enjoyed building up his presence and separating myth from fact. Is part of the story of the documentary, and it kind of lets you make your own decision of whether he was maybe embellishing his life story a little bit. But one thing that Christopher Lee did not embellish, and this is on his Wikipedia, and this is right here on a Reddit page. This goes viral at least once a year on Reddit, on Twitter, anywhere. Christopher Lee witnessed France's last public execution by guillotine. That's right. Here's a photo of France's last guillotine execution. Christopher Lee
Oh
is
my
in
goodness.
that crowd.
He's standing right there.
He is in that crowd right there. This is 1977.
That's wild.
This is the last guillotine. And Cliff, you won't believe this. What popped up in my news feed? The French have gotten their guillotine out of storage and put it in a museum. The Smithsonian, the guillotine goes on display in Marseille, where the execution device was last used 48 years ago. So the actual guillotine that Christopher Lee actually witnessed being used is now on display in Marseille.
Wow. That in Marseille, I think that's how you pronounce that. Marseille.
Is it Marseille? All right. It's supposed to. I like rhyming
so.
display and Marseille. Marseille.
Well, that guillotine.
I love the chat room. They're like, what?
That guillotine reminds me of that famous song by Morrissey, where he was singing about Margaret Thatcher and putting her on the guillotine, and the song was called Margaret on the Guillotine, and it caused uproar and screaming and a big furor of anger on the Parliament floor, where members of Parliament were shouting at each other about it and how awful it was. And I'm like, good for you, Morrissey, getting in some points in there on your very first solo album after the Smiths broke up. Like, everybody remembers that song.
Imran
During
in the chat room
says France is trolling us.
Imran in the chat room is saying, I'm correct, Cliff. It is Marseille.
It is Marseille. Oh, because it's spelled differently, it is not referring to the Palace of Marseille. Yes, it's a different place entirely. Quite correct.
It's just it's just great timing, isn't it, to bring this out of storage? So there's that was my long-winded connection to Christopher Lee in this famous photo, who, according to his Wikipedia, and also covered in the documentary, The Life and Death of Christopher Lee. So all the more reason to find a digital version that you can stream and watch this. And yes, people in the chat room were talking about the John Howe documentary that's available on Prime Video. That came out 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I think it was Kickstarted as well. But John, Prime recently put in a older documentary of John Howe playing LARPs and doing things. How
fun! That's really fun.
Since LARPs are all the rage. Whew. What?
Wow! I need to email John Spira. I need to email the director of this documentary and ask if he has any future plans to make other home video editions.
There's John Howe doc. Yes, it's on Prime Video. Just search for John Howe. It'll show up. He still has his dark hair in the photo, I think. So it's like 15 years old, I think it was. So all right. Other news. Let's bring it back. Oh, wrong browser. Let's bring it back. Rings of Power posted another cryptic video. The staff is yours to wield already.
That's a Gandalf staff. I mean, that's a Grand Elf staff. Hello, Grand Elf. You are quite the Grand Elf. And there he goes.
So, Cliff, talk to me about this staff. Is a wizard's power based on the staff? I thought the wizard imbues selected staff with magic.
Do you know, I imagine that there's some speculation. Like, is this a Horcrux kind of thing? Like the ring itself? Do the wizards have innate power that is perhaps brought forth in a utilitarian way by the staff itself being a directional tool for something that they organically have? Or the other side of the debate, because it's certainly not settled. This is not settled debate among any Tolkien fans. The other concept that you just suggested is that, um, they put a portion of their power into it. But I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure.
What I hope the show does not to do is make a big triumphant entry of Gandalf as the Grey Wizard. Like you've wasted 2 seasons of our time when we knew the minute he crash landed on Middle Earth, we knew that was Gandalf. Okay, so you wasted 2 seasons of our time. It doesn't need to be overly dramatic. All right. Just pretend that he was always Gandalf. Just pretend. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't have a grand entrance of like, oh, you've got the great cloak or something like that. It like, don't need to do that. Okay. Everyone knows Gandalf. He's the most famous wizard in the whole world.
Are the Harfoots coming back at all? Speculation. Let the speculation begin now. Those of you in the live chat, since we definitely have the Gandalf character who never was there in the Second Age anyways, but that's beside the point. How much, I have two questions. Will the Harfoots come back? But the second and major question is along the lines of what Justin is just talking about. How much amnesia will he still have? How much of a weird back and forth relationship is he going to need to have with this dark wizard played by Kieran Hines?
Do you think Gandalf here
recover
names
his amnesia
the Dark Wizard?
No, maybe.
Do you think Gandalf walks in and says, "Hey, there you are, my brother Saruman"?
Like, maybe so. Maybe he will call him Curanir, a name that the elves would call him. Maybe he'll call him a name from Valinor, because they used different names than the ones that were given to them by the common folk in Middle-earth. Back in Valinor, he was Olorin. I wonder if they're ever going to use those Silmarillion names. Like, do you think that the Dark Wizard, played by Kieran Hines, is going to ever refer to him as Olorin, which is the name that he would have called him back in Valinor?
I mean, listen, in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf is called many names in the movies, but it's said so fleetingly that most casual people don't pick up that he's called Mithrandir and Greybeard and all these other names, right?
Yeah.
Like that stuff's for the fans, but on a day-to-day basis, he just needs to be called his character, okay? And it's Saruman and it's Gandalf.
Well, the German cut and paste job in one of their press materials changed it from Saruman being Kieran Hines, and then suddenly the next day we looked and we're like, oh,
yeah, if you want to
go, they're going to call him Dark Wizard now.
Yeah, go back a few weeks, folks. We've reported that he is Saruman, but it doesn't stop the fans from talking, because Cliff, let's bring up this Reddit thread from this week.
Okay.
Lore-based evidence that the Dark Wizard is one of the Blue Istar. This is on the Lord of the Rings subreddit page, LOTR on Prime. It says the Dark Wizard is an Istar who went east and started a cult. In the show, he has a cult. I do think this is proof enough the Dark Wizard is being Alatar or Palando. But the whole he's like Saruman might come from the showrunners using canon material to make a Tolkien authentic wizard. In a letter in 1958, Christopher says that his father said that he knew nothing clearly about the other two, since they were not concerned in the history of the northwest of Middle-earth. I think, Tolkien wrote, they went as emissaries to distant regions, east and south, far out of Númenórean range, missionaries to enemy-occupied lands, as it were. What success they had, I do not know, but I fear that they failed as Saruman did, though doubtless in different ways. I suspect that they were founders or beginners of secret cults and magic traditions that outlasted the fall of Sauron.
I agree with that. And that is one major part of Unfinished Tales, but there's also a different moment where Tolkien reviewed his thoughts on it and changed his mind. And he wrote other stuff that was published posthumously, saying that maybe the two Blue Wizards were a bit more successful than what is mentioned here. So
I
he went
don't
back and
think
forth.
this show, look, it
He
went
went
before,
back and
but
forth about it.
before this show came out, when they showed the map, we all anticipated that we were finally going to get a story about the Blue Wizards. What a great opportunity for some showrunners that have never made anything to put
Mhm.
to tell some original stories, right? I think
Yeah.
I think mostly all of us are disappointed that they didn't commit to the Blue Wizards. And they ham-fisted Gandalf and Saruman in the weirdest ways into their
Yes.
show.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
So
That's exactly what happened.
if we scroll down to some comments, it says it would have helped. This is an interesting comment, Cliff, and I want you to respond to this.
Okay.
It would have helped if they had put at least a bit of blue in the robes of the Dark Wizard if they were going to do this. I don't know what the problem is here. Does Amazon not have the official rights? Or do they want to make it a surprise reveal for the viewers? Maybe setting us on the wrong track by making the Dark Wizard look more like Saruman. I don't think this would be very enjoyable for anyone who knows a bit about Lord of the Rings. We already know that Saruman's betrayal only happens centuries later. And the viewers that don't know would certainly know nothing about the Blue Wizards and would be only confused by the reveal.
Yep, I agree with that take. This stuff doesn't seem to be aligned to either maximize what we know in the posthumous publications, and it does seem like they're dancing around hard legal limitations of not being able to use the Blue Wizards as characters. That is what it seems like. Doesn't it seem like that to you, Justin?
No, it doesn't, because listen, in the Lord of the Rings book, which they have rights to, it mentions 5 wizards. That's all you need.
The rods of the 5 wizards. There's one line of dialogue that Saruman has where he does mention the rods of the 5 wizards. Yes.
And that is going to be turned into a
That's it.
OnlyFans account shortly. But I digress.
Please.
Listen. The Lord of the Rings mentions 5 wizards. That's all the opening that McPain needs to tell an original story. They don't need to come up with stuff for Saruman and Gandalf.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
and you know what? It doesn't matter if you change the 2 Blue Wizards' name. Maybe make them purple. I don't know. Maybe a coat of many colors that Saruman ends up stealing from them later on. I don't care. They don't need to call him Alantar and Palando because Tolkien wasn't even committed to those names. Tolkien renamed those wizards many times. So this is such a good blank slate for a writer that's never produced anything in his life to just go wild on, the rules of wizards.
I don't know if he renamed the Blue Wizards many times. It is probably more accurate to say that he developed Sindarin names for them. He developed names for them in another language. But you're funny. I do think that it's being mishandled.
Well,
because at the end of season 2, wouldn't that have been the best meat and potatoes to put on a plate in front of us? And what a great feast it would have been for all of us as fans.
And I think
if
the
Kieran
fans
Hines
on Reddit
was
are with you.
identified as a Blue Wizard. If they had ended season 2, we would have a year and a half or maybe 2 years of wild fan conversation and speculations because we would know for sure that this weirdly mystery boxed, Dark Wizard is really an identifiable character from Unfinished Tales. That would have made such a difference.
Well, Cliff,
that would have been
look at this other comment
to the story, and it would have aligned with
the fans are with you. The fans are with you. This
Really?
comment, this follow-up comment says, "Why do modern showrunners think it is somehow a good idea to annoy the audience?" I mean, what's the big mystery here? It's either it's a Blue Wizard or it's not. So instead of interesting speculation and discussion, as you were just talking about, you only have people hoping for your show to not be stupid. How is that interesting? Will this turn out to be really stupid or really decent? Is not a fun mystery.
Agreed
This
with that 1000%. 1000% agree with that.
so yeah, I don't get it. Like I just don't get it. Like just let us have fun. We want you guys, we want the creators of the show to have fun in Tolkienian land. So
Yeah.
have fun, but don't play these stupid mystery box games. It's not fun for us. No one's enjoying themselves.
Yep. I agree. I agree. But how far into season 3 are we going to go before this other wizard actually names himself? And you know what? You did ask, Justin, you did ask the right question. Is Gandalf going to stand there and say, "Hello, brother Saruman. I recognize you. I know you." I wonder if it's going to, fall out like that. But the staff looks very much like the Peter Jackson Weta staff, doesn't it? Let's
Yeah.
just dial that in. It looks very, very, very much like Weta's original
This is a
design.
prequel to the movies. It is not a unique adaptation of the books.
Yep.
This is straight
Yep.
straight prequel of the movies. There's another there was another post this week. Speaking of conventions, Jamie Campbell Bower was at another convention this week, and he is on stage talking about working on working on Rings of Power, and where the host says, "Why is there a little bit of glue on your ear?" So I think we've narrowed it down to Jamie Campbell Bower is playing a character with pointy ears. Cliff, what would that be?
He is playing the missing husband, Celeborn.
Could
Thank
he
you.
be? Could he be Glorfindel?
Could be, but I'm putting my money on uh all my gambling debts that have haunted me like Edgar Allan Poe. All of my gambling debts are all on this. I'm putting all my money on the Celeborn bet.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah. So anyway, Jamie Campbell Bower's playing someone
putting
with
all my money on
elf
that.
ears. That's the big that's the big scoop on.
What is he wearing? In this video, he looks like he's wearing some kind of an elf cloak or whatever. What is he wearing? It's funny.
Look, Jamie Campbell Bower, he is a fashion model. He walks runways, he goes to all the fashion, and he's wearing an oversized sweater that is styled. This guy dresses so well, and you can see that he's influenced Morpeth Clark's style in recent pictures. So uh so yeah,
Funny.
he has glue on his ears, which can only mean that he's probably wearing elf ears, which probably means he's gonna be an elf.
Wow. Well, he's going to be all over popular culture again with the release of the final season 5 of Stranger Things. So everyone's going to be talking about
He's the
him
main
all over
bad guy
again.
in that, right?
He sure is, and everyone's going to be
He's
talking about him.
Vecna. So yeah,
Yeah, he is
what
Vecna. Yeah.
later on in this interview, Jamie Campbell Bower says that he is filming right up to the launch of Season Things, and the day he stops filming on Rings
Season
of
Things?
Power,
Is that what you called it? Season Things. That's funny.
wow.
Okay, we know what you
But
meant by that.
yes,
Go ahead.
so he's
Go ahead.
filming Rings of Power Season 3, and
Yes.
the day he wraps on Rings of Power, he's on a plane to LA to promote Stranger Things.
Oh gosh! Wow.
So no rest for the weary. He's jumping
Yep.
right into the PR tour the day he finishes Rings of Power. So that's coming up in a couple weeks. So he's only got a couple weeks more filming. And as we've been reporting, Amazon's got a new studio head who's carefully reviewing everything at the studio.
This
And
is true.
if the studio boss doesn't like what he's seeing, changes are being made. In fact, they've already put a new head of production at the UK office. We reported on that a few months ago.
Yes, they did.
So changes are being made. And as we reported at the top of the show, Amazon has killed the Lord of the Rings MMO game. The studio that was making it, Amazon Game Studios, no longer exists. Everybody's been laid off from Irvine and San Diego.
How strange.
Woo.
Gosh.
Lots of
days.
action in Rings of Power land, Cliff. And
Yeah,
all we want is a good story with Saruman and Gandalf.
Actually, there's a lot of people who want LOTR and Palando, not Saruman at all.
We're beyond that. Guys, come on.
No.
We're way beyond that.
Season things. That's so funny. I'm never going to forget that. Season things.
Season
This is, you know, yeah, there's a lot of Rings of Power news and a lot of what appears to be turmoil and layoffs and a lot of changes and corporate shuffle happening over there at Prime and all kinds of things happening at Amazon, which is just weird. So it's going to get weirder, I think. Really.
Let's end on a hopeful note, okay, Cliff? Because we talked about this, but the new studio head of Amazon Prime Studios is the former boss of Netflix Studios.
Oh.
So the guy that greenlit Stranger Things, the guy that gave Stranger Things all the time and all the budgets, that guy is now head of Prime Video. And why is this? Why do we bring this up? Because in this recent article, we bring it up full screen here. In this recent article, the budget of the final season of Stranger Things is about $500 million.
Wow.
Where have we heard that budget before, Cliff?
Yeah, it makes one wonder.
It
makes one wonder.
So Netflix approved the same size budget that Rings of Power got.
Wow.
Look at that. Wow. And in fact, it's a little less. I don't know why it went dark mode there, but the streamer was reportedly selling out an average of $60 million per episode. Across 8 episodes is $480 million. That's right around the reported budget for season 1 and also season 2 and potentially season 3 of Rings of Power. Everything that's been reported on each season of Rings of Power says the budget stays the same. So the fact that Netflix gave $480 million budget to Stranger Things and Amazon gave the same size budget to Rings of Power makes me confident that the studio head that was at Netflix, that is now at Prime, is not afraid to spend the money.
Yeah, I get that.
So we can talk about layoffs. You're going to hear a lot of gossip over the next couple years of like Amazon's going to slash budgets of Rings of Power. It's underperforming. I'm not buying it because I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, this boss, this studio head knows how to spend money and he's not going to cut Rings of Power budget. That's my guess right now.
I would agree. That seems to be a reasonably aligned guess. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Jordan Rennells in the chat. The most wonderful voice in the world of Tolkien.
Jordan
in the chat.
But Jordan in the chat room saying, I feel like Stranger Things can do so much more with that budget that Ring of Power can. Explain yourself, Jordan. Explain that. I want to know why you're saying that.
Come on the show right now. Come on. We'll send you a link and you can join us right now.
But Cliff, what do you think he's trying to say?
Well, of course, the point, as it says there in that graphic from that tweet, is that season 1 of Stranger Things was $4 million per episode, right? Only $6 million per episode. And you see how much you can do with that smaller amount of money. And that's what Jordan, I think, is saying. Thinking that the producers, the showrunners of Stranger Things can make a little go a very long way. I think, isn't that what you're saying, Jordan, in general? And I agree because you've got results you've got a whole different scale of results with Stranger Things, and you've spent less money to produce it than you have with your large Lord of the Rings adaptation. So,
Oh, well,
Jordan
Princess Toy
says,
Nerd, I know you're playing devil's advocate, and people are not going to stay interested in Rings of Power for long. But
right.
but what I'm saying is the new head of Amazon Prime, who was formerly the head of Netflix Studios, he knows how to make a successful pop culture zeitgeist show that everyone enjoys. I mean, he bought Squid Game, like all those big hits was under his management.
Hmm.
So I predict that McPain are going to turn in their first cut for season 3 by the end of the year. I think the new boss is going to look at it and say, "Great, good job, guys! You're really improving." Or he's going to be like, "We gave you guys $500 million, and this is what you tuned in. We need to fix this." And the new boss is going to fix it. You're going to see reshoots, and I wouldn't be surprised
Yes.
if we do not get season 3 next year. In fact, I am prepared as a fan to say, take your time, Amazon. If it's
Okay.
undercooked, don't serve it. Like,
Right. Put it
we
back in the
can
oven.
wait 3 years. It's okay. We can wait another year. We can wait another
Yeah.
2 years. Cliff, do you think Tolkien deserves that?
Yes, I would agree. If it's underbaked, don't serve it. Coming back to respond to you, or Jordan says, Stranger Things doesn't have the massive CGI things to do in comparison to Rings of Power, so they can distribute it to all the other fields of the show other than CGI. I get that point entirely.
During
Entirely.
the seventh asks, hasn't Amazon Prime had a new head of studio every year since ROP was first announced? No.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jennifer Salke was part of the negotiating team um, that got the Lord of the Rings rights, and she was head of the studio the whole time. Her title changed. People's titles changed here and there. Her underlings got shuffled out and stuff, but there was one studio head the whole time, Jennifer Salke. She is out, and the Netflix boss is in. And that guy seems to know how to spend money wisely, to quote someone in the chat room. Jacob Spark says, this guy's not going to save Rings of Power. More money is not what it needs. Improving what? It's subjective. They think it's great, and what they're serving is what they are making. More time does not equal a better product with McPain's crew.
Hmm.
I think you're
Hmm.
I think we're saying the same thing. I think we're saying the same thing. And I think this Netflix boss, I hope he has the strength to make the hard decisions if the first cut of season 3 isn't very good.
Right. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. And I guess he's in that position now to do that. He really is in that position now to do that and say, let's rewrite and reshoot things. It's happened before in the history of many, many films and productions where somebody comes in as a new executive and they say, no, we've got to change things.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a huge
Yes.
show. By the way, a quick little update. One of our favorite Rings of Power writers, Helen Shang, has a new show that just started this week. She was in the writer's room for the HBO series It, Welcome to Derry. Yes, it's a prequel show about the clown movie It.
Yes. Welcome to Derry.
So that debuted on HBO Max on Sunday. The second episode drops on Halloween. Helen
Yep.
Shang was in the writer's room for that.
Wow.
She's
Cool.
just
Okay.
she's just great at horror and tension, and really excited for Helen's new show to succeed. And I don't want to talk about the show yet because even if I mention some of the characters in it, those could be seen as spoilers. So we'll give you guys a couple weeks to catch up on Welcome to Derry, where one of our favorite Rings of
Yes.
Power writers, was in the writers' room.
That's cool. That's a cool connection. I didn't know that Helen worked on that. I am very much looking forward to seeing that show. Very much. Um, it's going to be really cool. There's a lot of buzz. Everybody is doing videos about it. Screen Crush is doing videos about it. Star Wars content creators are doing videos about Welcome to Derry. Everyone is really like, this is how the entire Stephen King macroverse is all connected. And I've been kind of blown away by the level of research that these kids are doing. It's really cool. I'm very excited by that. And also, it's been a lovely show today. Thank you, Justin, for bringing us all the Tauriel news headlines. Lee Pace in the house. It's got to happen.
Yeah,
It has to
let's rock
happen.
it through the news of the week. So listen,
It has to happen.
we just showed you that the rumors are more than rumors now. It looks like Tauriel might be coming back for Hunt for Gollum. Lee
Says
Pace,
Evangeline Lilly. Yeah.
Lee Pace has been approached as Thranduil. So has
Yes.
Orlando Bloom as Legolas. The team
Yes.
of elves is getting back together for the Hunt for Gollum. That's super exciting. The
Yeah,
Christopher
so
Lee
cool.
documentary sold out. Sold out. Hopefully, you guys can find a copy of it online. Please support independent filmmakers. Like, if he charges
Yes.
10 or 20 bucks to watch a streaming version, that's cool. He's an independent filmmaker, John Spira. We love you. Doug Adams scooping the whole Hollywood complex.
That was a great bit. That's a great bit of news. Now, again, there was a lot of chat today about the difference between Doug Adams, right? His last name Adams, right?
Yeah.
Let's make sure we got this right. Not to be confused with Douglas A. Anderson, who is the Tolkien scholar who put together the annotated Hobbit. So the
And not to be
annotated Hobbit.
confused by Doug Adams, the author
Yep.
of, the 42 is the ultimate number of the universe
The
book.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, silly. Yeah, so yeah, that Doug Adams we're talking about, who wrote the music of the Lord of the Rings and worked with Howard Shore so many years in a row. Worked intimately with Howard
He's
Shore.
still on the music
Not-
beat, and he's
not
still
to be
scooping
confused.
things. And then, of
Wow,
course, we
that's
led the show today with some terrible news. 2 Lord of the Rings video games got axed. Lord of the
Yes.
Rings: Rise to War is a mobile game, and it's sunsetting on December 31st. So you only have a couple more months to play that game, and they're going to turn the servers off. But the big news is Amazon looks like it has killed the Lord of the Rings MMO game that had $100 million budget, that
So
had
strange.
huge teams in Irvine and San Diego working on it. Everyone's been laid off, and Amazon looks like they're getting out of the MMO AAA industry completely.
Bonkers. And yes, to give a big shout out, we wouldn't have this great weekly live stream if it weren't for you wonderful folks in the live chat being so amazing. Vixan, Dark Fairy, says, I look forward to Netflix saving Rings of Power with K-pop Nazgul hunters. Yes, I am so down for really flashy, bright, animated K-pop Nazgul hunters. That is the remix that we need right now. But would it save the show? I don't know. Thank you guys for coming to be with us. You came to join us from the Bookface and the TubeU and the X Twitter and the Twatter book and all these different things that you guys joined us. Thank you for being with us in the live chat. It is amazing. I had my Gandalf hat on just, for Gandalf because, Gandalf. And Justin, you're amazing. Thanks for pulling up the news headlines and the supporting visuals and media. Really appreciate you, sir.
I have some homework. I have some homework for you and for me and
Homework.
for everybody
Okay.
watching. Okay.
Yes.
Because this was trending on X today. Let's bring it up. As you can see there, 15,000 retweets, 72,000 likes. The question was, what's a movie that had the biggest plot twist ever and it still blows your mind just thinking about it? Cliff, do you have a response to that?
A movie with the biggest plot twist ever? I guess I'd have to go back to the debut of M. Night Shyamalan and The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
I think I have to go back to
Well,
that. The
well, the
Sixth Sense.
most popular response to this tweet today was 72,000 likes, 20,000 bookmarks. Stars our boy Robert Arameo
Oh,
sporting this, and she said, Half Jenny says, when I tell you I couldn't sleep for like a week.
wow.
I am
Yeah.
so interested in what Elrond himself, Robert Arameo, what happens in this movie that is a huge plot twist that is keeping kids up at night.
What is this movie
And,
again?
and in the comments, it is called Behind Her Eyes. It is a TV series, not a movie, and it is
Okay.
on Netflix. It's called Behind Her Eyes. It came out in
Okay.
2021. So this is
Oh, intriguing.
before season 1 came out. This is before season 1 of Rings of Power came out. Behind Her Eyes on Netflix, starring Robert Arameo. Look at the intensity in Robert's face. I have not seen that look in Rings of Power yet.
No,
And
he's a hooligan.
I
He's
cannot
a
wait.
right hooligan. Look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see that Elrond in Rings of Power.
That's crazy. He's such a good actor. He's a very, very good actor. I will. Okay, Anonymous Girl says, Cliff, please watch it. I will watch it. And yeah, Monica, yeah, maybe it is creepy because you were thinking of The Sixth Sense as well. Maybe that's just,
So
brainwave.
that's your homework, guys. Behind Her Eyes
Okay,
on
gotta check it out.
Netflix, starring Robert Arameo and Cliff. I'll start the series this week, and hopefully we come back next week and we can.
And we can talk about it.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I got
absolutely.
for today.
I love you guys. You're the best audience ever. We just had another wonderful show because you're a wonderful audience joining us and making things wonderful. So if you want to find more details, please check out our main website. Point your web browser, no app involved. Just point your browser to theonering.net. Check out all of our lead news stories. Oh yeah, Donnie Darko, that's a good one. The Usual Suspects, very good one. Unbroken, if you mean Unbreakable, yeah, yeah, there you go. A lot of people would have said that Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho had the biggest shock surprise ending because nobody expected the Janet Leigh character would be killed off so early in the film. So that might have the biggest surprise in it. But yeah, we're gonna just say you're a fabulous audience. Thanks for being with us, and Justin, you sir are quite the gentleman about town. Really awesome to have you here with us. Follow me on Instagram and on Blue Sky at QuickBeam2000. And I'm totally down to chat with you guys there and see what kind of mischief is happening. We will certainly be back here next Tuesday for another episode of Torn Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So stay tuned. Right here, we'll bring more news and more gossip and conversation and analysis, as we always do. This is theonering.net, folks. We are forged by and for the fans of J.R.R. Tolkien. And that's what we do. The world's largest all-volunteer Tolkien web portal for all of you. And it's so great to have you with us on the show again. Please look out for one another. Be careful. Stay out of the rain. There's a lot of storms going on. Yes, Marion, he returns that love. Just so you know, Marion, Justin does return that love. He certainly does. And so do I. We love you all too. You folks, be good to one another, and we will see you right here next week for another episode of Torn Tuesday. Until then, as I love to say, good night and good luck. Or better yet, buenos noches y buena suerte. Bye-bye, everybody.